Has anybody gone to the house yet? Do you really?
We know what happened.
We have, but we want to hear it from you.
Or we have an idea. You're the only one looking at us. Start at the beginning, man. What caused all this?
Well, the very beginning, I asked my mother for permission to die, or rather kind of commit suicide, the sort of beating around the bush sort of thing. Because, well, that doesn't really matter why I wanted to kill myself.
Sure it does. Tell us.
I'm bored with life. I don't like life. I don't like people. I don't like living it, basically. There's really anything depressing about it. It just is what it is. And so, I wrote the note. I did.
When did you write the note?
Around 6-ish, 7-ish.
Today or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Okay.
That's in the afternoon or morning?
Afternoon.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then...
She get upset with you?
Well, no, actually. I mulled it over. And then on a whim, actually, I turned it over, wrote a plan to kill both my mother and my sister, quite frankly, because that's always been a thing of mine. I'm a bit of a pervert.
Is it like a fantasy thing?
It is, actually. So, that didn't happen. The best laid plans never work out, apparently, or at least the one scribbled on a piece of paper. Because she had decided she was sick of this stuff, and she was going to go send me to live with my sister again. And so I kind of leapt off in a fury and just did it right then and there.
Okay. You did what?
Well, I tried to strangle her with a cord, a ripped cord from a video game console controller. That didn't work, huh?
What was this after you tried to strangle her?
She was sitting on the couch watching TV.
Okay.
That didn't work out too well. She started screaming, and so I went to her room, opened a drawer at the very bottom to the right. I pulled out a hammer. I went back in the living room, and, well, you kind of get the gist from there. And she was out pretty quickly. Kind of tried to play dead at first, but then I finished it.
So you hit her with a hammer when she was sitting in the sofa in the living room?
No, first I tried to strangle her, and that didn't work. She grabbed the cord, so I raced back into her room, grabbed the hammer, came back out, and then did it.
How many times did you hit with a hammer in the living room?
At least 20, but then she was still alive. I dragged her into the room, as you probably clearly saw, and then I kind of wormed my hands into her brains to kind of just cut it. She was still snoring.
Okay. So she was still alive?
She was still alive.
And you went in there and you kind of grabbed those brains?
Yeah, just finished it.
Alright. Did you use a knife on her?
Actually, I was going to, but no, I didn't get to do that.
Did you, I guess you never got to stab her with a knife?
No.
It was all with a hammer?
It was all with a hammer in my hand.
And where did you hit her with a hammer?
The head.
All in the head area?
All in the head, I believe. I may have gotten her hand because she was covering herself.
Okay.
Is this in the front or the back of the head?
Top, back, mainly. No, actually the entrance wound is around yonder somewhere here.
Okay.
And then, so when you dragged her to the living room, to the bedroom, you kept on hitting her there?
Yeah, I kind of went.
That's where that's when you reached in and grabbed her brain?
Yeah, I kicked at it a bit. Then I just, that was kind of silly, but then I just decided to reach in and kind of just do it.
And then what did you do after that?
Then I had sex with her corpse.
You did? Okay. Did you come inside her?
I did, actually.
Have you ever done that before, like had sex with her?
No, I haven't, actually.
This is just the first time?
Oh, yeah, I lost my virginity to a corpse.
Okay. Did you change in the bathroom?
I did. I took a bath before then. My penis really, well, that's a little personal, but yeah, I needed to clean it off, and so, and then I changed, yeah.
Okay. How about your sister? What's your sister's name?
Desiree Hill.
Is she okay?
She is okay, yeah.
Okay.
Where does she live?
At an apartment actually very near here. That big kind of Hispanic thing, like Spanish-looking building. It's an old apartment complex with a code.
Was it a fantasy of yours to kill her as well?
It was.
Did you write down that on your note?
Oh, I did, actually, but I decided against it because, well, I'd had my fill of killing. I didn't seem a little much.
Mm-hmm.
A little too excessive, yeah.
So after you went in and you killed her, and you made sure that she was dead by grabbing her brain and moving it around, then you took her clothes off, or what? Or was she already unclothed?
I actually had to drag her by her clothes to get her in there. It was very laborious, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So she's a pretty big woman, she's heavy.
Yeah.
Hey, is she your natural mother? Biological mother?
Yeah, actually she is my natural mother.
Mm-hmm.
I take after my father.
Okay.
Hey, what kind of thrill did you get by having sex with her?
I'd always loved my mother, I guess in the wrong sort of way, but a kind of love, I guess. Maybe some rage. Maybe just a little.
Was it a Freudian style?
Freudian? I kind of get where you're coming from. Sure, why not? Yeah.
Alright. Have you killed anybody else before?
I have not.
You just fantasized about it?
I just fancy, yeah.
Okay.
What got you to this point? Tell us about what got you to this point. Did you hate life? You wanted to commit suicide? Oh, what did you say about it when you told her you wanted in a roundabout way to commit suicide? She said no. She said yes. What did she say to you?
She said, basically I'm a grown man and what I do, she can't really stop me. She was distraught over it, of course. I mean,
Of course.
yeah, she said she'd cope with it. I mean, if you kill him, that's kind of why she wanted me to go away, why she called my sister to come pick me up, and that's kind of why I just left.
So at that point you got pissed?
Not necessarily. I just knew it was time to act now or never.
How long have you had this thought you went?
It's around my preteens, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you ever seek any kind of medical attention, psychological? Do you feel that you can cope with that?
Nope, I never really seeked help, actually. I just accepted it as a part of me. I wasn't really ashamed of it. It just was what it was.
Let's talk about the notes that you wrote. How many notes did you write?
3.
3. There was one in the living room.
Yeah.
That one was addressed to who?
Desiree, my sister, because I knew she's a good girl, but rather sensitive. I knew she would lose her head if she kind of saw that.
You remember what the note said?
Keep your head. Hurry. She might still be alive, although I highly doubt it, in parentheses. Something along those lines, yeah. Sincerely.
But when you wrote the note, you knew your mom was already dead?
Oh, yeah, I knew it. You know,
so you're just messing with Desiree by writing that she might still be alive?
Yeah, my sick sense of humor. Okay. I was pretty well off my rocker by then.
And then there's a second note in your mom's bedroom. What did that one say? Do you remember?
Chase me.
Was that addressed to the police or to who?
I was in a very playful mood at the time.
Okay.
I just wanted to run. Just wanted to see how far I could get. But
yeah. So what? Your plan was to leave town, or what? According to one of the notes that you wrote.
Oh yes, actually, yeah, the Greyhound bus. I was gonna try to get out of the state or anything really.
But I guess something else happened. You ended up at somebody's house.
No, actually.
What happened?
I told you my plan was foiled because she wanted to. She talked to me. She said my sister's going to come pick me up now, like in a few minutes. Go live with her, and that's when I said it's time to act, now or never.
I see.
I just went over to their house to use their phone, and then I was using their phone, so I thought I might as well tell them when they asked me questions. I mean, they had questions. I'm using their phone.
Where was this at? Where did you end up at?
Ultimately, I ended up in the backwoods of a ditch.
Here in town or out of town?
Robstown.
In Robstown. How did you get over there?
In Corpus Christi, I biked halfway, and then I got to the train tracks, and then I ditched the bike in the thick woods, and then from the train tracks, I just walked.
To Robstown?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you came up to was it like the first house that you saw, or how did you go to this house to use the phone?
Initially, my plan was just to run as far as I can, but then I ended up crying my eyes out in like the fake woods, like, oh, what did I do? And I realized, oh, you don't know what you lost till you've already lost it. And so I knew that my life wasn't going to go anywhere, not anymore. So I just kind of gave it up midway.
What brings you here, other than your life? Is you just give up on life now and you need to tell somebody what happened, basically, right?
I guess, yeah.
Your inside you want to do one thing, but your inside tells you more, like your heart, right? It's talking out of your heart. You know? You feel sorry you did this to your mom?
In a way, yes, but I wouldn't take back what I did. It's strange, really. I did love her. In a way.
Is she being mean to me?
Oh, no, she's been the best mother.
Okay, so there's nothing that she did?
Oh, absolutely nothing, no.
If I was to ask you, what did she do to deserve this, what would you answer?
Absolutely nothing. I'm a cruel, disgusting person, yeah, basically.
How'd you come up with the idea to kill her and have sex with her?
How did I come up with it?
Yeah, was it?
It's been a developing idea in my brain.
But you haven't gotten ideas from games or videos, or you're not into that? Some of those dark games?
Some things inspired me, but they did not necessarily plant the seed. You get me? They didn't plant the seed, but they did egg me on, rather, I guess.
Is that the books you've been reading?
Not necessarily. I watched them. I recently got into watching some foreign movies, creepy stuff, not necessarily mainstream horror, the kind of stuff that you keep away from.
Oh, okay. So are you into witchcraft? Anything like that?
No. Not right. I guess it sounds kind of strange.
I'm just interested because it's something unusual and you're here telling us about it and you appear to be a nice guy. You appear to be a good guy. You know, you're not yelling and screaming at us.
You seem very rational.
You're very rational. You're a pretty good guy. This is what I'm trying to figure out. That's all.
Well, despite how I ended her life, I'm kind of more fascinated by the more artistic ways of murder, a meticulous manner, the way they cut them open, just slice them to pieces. I mean, such care, such love. And
where did the hammer come from that you used?
From her drawer.
Okay.
Yes.
And then after you killed her, you just left it there, the hammer?
I did.
Yes, because you saw a hammer there next to her body. That's the one you used? Okay. And there was some blood in the knife, but you said you never used it? I guess just blood just from where you grabbed it around the...
Oh, that knife. Actually, I used that to stir her brains up a little, but then that didn't really work out, so I just kind of decided to delve on it.
Did you do that in the living room or the bedroom? Because we found that it wasn't in the bedroom.
I may have started out. So. Yeah, actually, I used the knife in the living room, and then didn't I take it with me?
So her brains were already kind of coming out in the living room when you dragged her?
Yes, but she was still snoring like a baby, and so I just kind of dragged her.
Explain to her how you grabbed her so that you wouldn't leave such a mess in the carpet. Did you carry her from underneath the arms and just dragged her, or how did you drag her?
It was very sloppy, actually. I kind of just winged it. I dragged her from her shirt. I dragged her by her legs. I dragged her by any way I kind of felt. I mean,
okay.
I don't really exert physical labor, too, so I'm not a very strong person.
She's bigger than you are.
Yeah.
She's bigger than you.
So how many siblings do you have? Is it just you and Desiree?
I do have a half-brother, actually, but I haven't seen him in a long while.
Does he live here in town, or no?
He doesn't.
Okay. How about Dad? Where's Dad? He's not in the picture, your dad?
No, not really. He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Do you have an idea where he's at?
Probably somewhere in Fort Worth, maybe.
And you lived there with your mom at the Windrush Apartments? What's apartment number there?
1707.
You have your own bedroom there?
I do.
Okay. So the note where you wrote the plan that you were going to leave town and kill your mom, kill your sister, that was the one that we found there. We found it in one of the bedrooms. Not where your mom was, but the other one. That was your room?
Yeah, that was my room.
Apartment?
The big, blank, sloppy looking,
Okay. But your sister didn't live with you guys?
She did.
Okay.
There was a magic marker there on top of the little desk here in your room.
Magic marker?
Permanent marker.
Like a marker.
Permanent marker.
Okay, permanent marker, yes.
Is that the one you used? It was on a little like folding table. Is that where you wrote your notes?
I think I just grabbed a piece of like my old schoolwork and just kind of.
How do you do in schoolwork, man? Going back to school, how do you do in schoolwork?
Pretty mediocre. I never really could muster, but didn't even really care. I mean, I guess I excelled in English for all that was worth.
Okay. How about sports?
No, I don't like sports.
You don't like sports, football, none of that? I know you're a little small for football, but...
Oh,
Yeah.
What school did you go to?
Ray High School.
Ray? And you were in 10th grade?
Yeah.
Did you ever tell anybody else what your plans were? That, you know, what you wanted to do, your mom or your sister?
No, but over the years, there were hints. As a younger boy, I was a lot dumber, a lot more angsty, you know. I said things, but I guess they basically brushed it off. I guess the hints were everywhere, but they're my family. Family looks past that kind of stuff, or they try to not look at it, I guess.
Let me ask you. At this point, what do you consider yourself? You consider yourself, I'm going to use a dirty word, okay, but I don't mean to insult you, okay? Do you consider you mentally disturbed? Do you consider yourself crazy? What do you consider yourself, any of those? Or you think you're okay? You just got some bad thoughts?
I'm not mentally disturbed. I mean, I'm sane. I know exactly what I did. I know that it's wrong in the traditional sense of wrong.
Hello.
It was just a fantasy you had, and you had to carry it out.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Now I feel vaguely, kind of like I'm done.
So,
you still feel like, well, you're done with your mom. You still feel like you want to keep on killing? To keep on, you know, with other fantasies? Or how do you feel?
I came here to pay for my crimes, so I guess I should continue with the truth. Truthfully.
Yes, definitely.
I would kill again.
how about us? You think you want to kill us?
Oh, no, rather, men aren't my thing, actually.
Women.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I don't. I've never had a girlfriend.
I'll tell you what, give me your fancy of killing a woman. What would your fancy killing would be? Your ace killing, what would that be?
This is a little peculiar. I'm on camp. Okay,
I'm not surprised at what I'm going to hear, but you tell me.
maybe dressing up in a nice suit, sneaking into her house, disabling her boyfriend. You know, yeah, I'd bring a pretty dress with me to dress her up in. I was always into strangling, but after that last blunder, I guess maybe something big and sharp would be more along my thing. And I could, I don't know, probably decapitate her, as I prefer my women dead. I would dress her up, I'd stitch her up, kind of try to work the head back on, perhaps. And then I'd go to town, and it would be a night to remember. And then I'd kind of just burn everything and run for the hills.
Now, you mentioned that you lost your virginity to a corpse.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? What happened?
Oh, well, just last night, my mother, yeah.
Okay, not somebody else. You're talking about your mom.
Yes.
Okay, so before that you had never had sex?
Well, I guess since I'm being quiet about it, I might as well tell you now. And it's on the note too, the PS part. We used to have a gray cat named Claire. Oh yeah, bestiality is a thing of mine too. Now you know. And so I strangled it, I drowned it, and then I cut it open, and you know the rest. You kind of get the rest.
You had sex with the cat, with the dead cat?
Yeah, ripped it open, stuck it in there. Yeah.
You ever had sex with a live person?
No.
So that your thing, having sex with a live person, that doesn't turn you on. It's the dead thing, dead person, dead animals. That's what turns you on.
I don't necessarily mind. I don't have standards or morals. Body's a body, and in the end, it's a piece of meat. I guess it's harsh to say, but But no, I don't necessarily mind.
How about the idea of hurting yourself? Do you have the same idea now?
Huh?
Do you have the same idea that you want to hurt yourself, commit suicide?
No, it's over for me. I'll face the music. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
There's not a happy ending for me, guys.
Well, tell me, what do you think should happen to you? What do you think your punishment should be?
Whatever the judge, the people, the jury.
Kevin Davis calmly and brutally murdered his mother. Kevin Davis told his mom that he was bored with life and hated everybody, therefore, he requested her permission to kill himself. Kimberly, 50, who worked as a career in a hospice, was as horrified as any mother would be when their child told them they wanted to kill themselves. She tried to talk him out of it. At some point in the conversation, it appears that Davis snapped and made a decision to kill his mother. He later explained to detectives that he tried to strangle her with a cord from a video game console. But when that didn't really work, he went looking for a hammer and bashed in her skull 20 times. A psychiatrist, Dr. Joel Kutnick, who interviewed Davis, told the jury how Davis described the murder. He used a hammer to kill his mother, and of course the skull split open. He wanted to make certain that she was dead. He stuck his hand in the skull and mixed up the brains, then I think he told me he got a knife and mixed them up. Then he also said that it felt like putty. The consistency of the brain tissue. And then he said something about he tasted the brain. Kimberly Hill. After he'd killed Kimberly, he undressed her and sexually assaulted her. He joked to the police, "Yeah, I lost my virginity to a corpse." He left his mom's body naked from the waist down and posed her in a sexually suggestive position. Davis told the police that he had then decided to wait for his sister to come home so he could kill her too. However, she had a lucky escape because he decided he'd had his fill of killing. When asked what his mother did to deserve this, Davis said, "Absolutely nothing. I'm just a terrible, disgusting person." Investigators asked Davis if he felt mentally ill or insane, and he relied, "No." Prosecutors and medical experts agreed that Davis has no mental or psychotic issues. Davis did admit during interrogation that if given the chance he would kill again. Davis told the police that he had then decided to wait for his sister to come home so he could kill her too. However, she had a lucky escape because he decided he'd had his fill of killing. He decided to leave Corpus Christi on his bicycle, which he did cycling down some train tracks. However, a short time later, he walked to a nearby town and knocked on a couple's door. He asked for a telephone so that he could turn himself in. Kevin Davis. When interviewed by the police, Davis calmly and coldly admitted to everything he'd done. He also said that he loved his mom but didn't regret killing her. When asked why he'd killed her, he said, "I'm just a terrible, disgusting person." He also told investigators that he deserved to be locked up for 100 years. He said, "I'm not mentally disturbed. I'm sane. I know what I did. I don't have standards. I don't have morals. A body's a body. A piece of meat." Kevin Davis was sentenced to life in prison.